All right, guys, back with another episode of the Better by the Numbers podcast presented by Life Metrics. We're here at the third annual Roundtable of Longevity Clinics. My friend Max Song, can you tell us what you do in the space?
Sure. So I have a day job. I work for a very accomplished doctor and investor in longevity.
Okay.
And as part of my job, I have a chance to meet a lot of really amazing researchers in longevity. We're here at the Buck today to attend the seminar, and I'm really excited to just meet more people actually pushing the frontiers of using technology to rethink the way we treat aging.
Okay. And who are some of the most noteworthy people so far that you've met that are doing something interesting?
Yeah,
that
I
you
think
found?
I think Dr. George Church, Dr. David Sinclair have been really big inspirations for me. And then also I think a lot of the people working on the sort of new AI inspired technology, like the guys at Retro, the guys at Altus Labs and New Limit. I think those are companies and people where I think there's a real chance that AI is going to make a big difference in helping us uncover the fundamental reasons we age.
Oh, so I talked to one doctor, man. He said that they have come up with a concept that the aging is a disease. Is that your belief as well? Do you see that?
I think actually the thing that I find fascinating about the longevity space itself is that we know so little about the human body, and in our effort to actually figure out how and why we age, we're actually uncovering fundamental science about how cells work and also how chronological age is reflected in cellular mechanics. And that to me is like a whole new type of biology that was not available for us before. So I think there's a part of it which is on the medicine side, like how do we treat disease through longevity? There's another part of it which is on the pure science side. It's like how do we actually just better understand the interactions between proteins, DNA, and cells. And I think this entire global movement on longevity is actually going to lead to a bunch of breakthroughs of how we understand biology itself.
Nice. And so this is the third annual roundtable. How
Mm.
many of these events have you attended, and what do you see as a trend happening? How
Sure.
do you
Yeah.
see this gaining popularity?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I find it amazing, for work, I travel a lot, and I see there being this amazing global convergence of interest on longevity, which, 10 years ago or 5 years ago, it was not so clear that biology was cool.
Yeah,
Right? There are so many other
right.
things that people find really exciting. But now there seems to be kind of growing global consensus that this is a meaningful topic of research, and also that there are important strides to be made there. And finally, I would say, there's a lot of, you know, uh, business built on selling us food and lifestyle, which, as we now look at science, is not good for us, like longevity wise.
Right. Yeah.
And so the it's almost like a elevation of human cognition and awareness of like taking accountability for our own health that suddenly makes a lot of the old industries have to rethink their business models, right? And I think that's also really exciting.
There's I like to say the old way of thinking basically is basic, obviously outdated. But what my question to you is, as an enthusiast, what do you see a pathway for people getting into the field? Because I don't know if universities are actually teach people how to become
For sure. I think it's super interesting. I was talking to some of the PhDs here at the Buck Institute, right, and how they kind of discovered that there was a whole field on longevity, and many of them didn't understand or didn't hear about there being this discipline until they finished college. And one of the personal passions I have is actually around education, is how do we actually allow younger and younger generations to get more up to speed with like the cutting edge without having to wait 6-12 years of like boring school stuff, right? And I think if you tell someone who's like in seventh grade today that there's a real focused effort on actually making people live to 200 years old, they would be so much more interested in actually being a doctor or a scientist or a biologist than if they had just to be like, oh, I have to memorize a bunch of vocabulary words to make my parents happy.
I mean, honestly, right now it's very much so I just prescribe medicine to people and get addicted to certain opioid, and all of a sudden they're having more health problems than they began with. So that's cool. I'm wondering, if
I'll riff on that a little bit more.
Yeah, please.
Like, there's a friend of mine running a really cool fellowship called the Longevity Biotech Fellowship, LBF, and so he systematically takes a bunch of young people and concentrates them in like a summer camp and have them be exposed to the idea that longevity is a science, and there's a lot of research coming out. And so he's done this maybe 12, 13 batches. So there's like hundreds of people now who are currently in their PhD. Some of them graduated, some of them are actually founders. They're all part of the same cohort.
Wow.
And I see that as like almost like new types of education, right? Not relying on traditional med school, which is mind-numbingly boring, but kind of creating this kind of cool, hip, globally relevant education experience.
Are they even looking to get accredited? Or is
well, the LBF itself is a fellowship, right? So they're kind of like planting the spark, and then you go to do your PhD programs or you do your masters, but now you have a reason why you want to study these things. Right. There's more
because you see where you're going to go into.
Precisely. Right? Or like and a lot of the LBF fellows become the first person to advocate for longevity themed research in the labs they're in. So they start being able to take the resource of the lab and actually point it into a longevity research direction.
Wow. And here at the Roundtable, what were some of your biggest takeaways? What's something that you learned?
One of the major themes is sleep. And I just find sleep to be such a interesting topic. We're told to sacrifice our sleep for athletics and for studies and academics and partying and having fun. But all of the longevity science says sleep is enormously important. And I find a lot of the cool medical devices, like there was a Empower Sleep here, creating high fidelity trackers, which you don't have to go to like a sleep clinic to actually start getting good data. That's really exciting for me. But I also want to support funding, and I want to support research into like all of the ways that sleep actually heals you, because I think in that sort of process, there's a lot of science that actually could be therapies. And I also want to quickly comment on the placebo effect. So please. I was reading on a book about the miraculous presence of placebos. Right, that like if you do like a cancer trial, like the people who take sugar pills, 30% of them still get better.
Wow.
Right, and if you do therapies today, you have to like have a drug that's better than placebo, right? And so for many drug developers, it's actually a major nuisance because they have to like overcome this very high hurdle rate. But really, what it's saying is that there is some incredible ability to heal in the human body that we take totally for granted. Right, it's like dark matter, like it's there, but we don't actually see it, right? We just like write it off and say, oh, that's a placebo effect, like get rid of it, like we have to focus on the drugs. So, but if you have a 30% efficacy rate on anything, like that's like super powerful. So I also feel like, and there was a conversation today at the Roundtable around mindset, right? Like how mindset actually
mind. That's what I was thinking.
And it's like there's almost like too much, mysticism and stuff in there. But if you combine the two, like positive thinking and the placebo belief structure enables pretty amazing health results. Like we should look into this.
In real time.
Right. Like there's something that should become a major source of study for us.
I see that with some of the people that I talk to who were looking into joy and happiness and community and feeling sense of belonging, which is obviously would cause people to want to live longer. When you lose those things, you don't really want to live longer. And I don't know if the science backs this up, but maybe you're more susceptible to illnesses when you lose that will.
Totally.
And I wonder if they're finding some connections with that. But where would you like to go in the longevity space?
I really want to see our ability to uncover deeper truths about how we age through the use of AI. Right, like we're made out of trillions of cells. We have like tens of trillions of cells composing of our gut and sort of our sort of a microbiome. That's too much information for a human brain to handle, but it's totally capable within the sort of range of AI skills. So I feel like we're just entering this like 2025 to like 2030, these 5 years is going to be like these amazing golden years of amazing discovery. And from those discoveries, I think we'll make better medicines, make better services, and train better doctors.
One of the questions I keep asking people is so far longevity is it's only accessible to the wealthy. And how do you think this is going to reach the masses? How do you think the best way to move forward to get to everybody? That way it's affordable. I know AI is one of them, obviously, because it's making it easy to track data and making it more.
But also AI is super cheap.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
like
exactly.
actually it's amazing how cheap AI is. And so all my friends, you know, if they get a medical result, they can't, you know, schedule a doctor in time. They just usually unsafely load it to AI and be like, tell me what this means, right? So obviously there's a bit of safety concern there, but really they're also getting, in response to that, decent analysis, which, you know, in many cases it's hard to get like 5 minutes of quality time with your, like, you know, general practitioner
exactly.
or specialist.
The average,
Yeah,
I heard it was like anywhere between 5 and 15 minutes, which is crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think the other ironic thing is like some of the most useful things you can do for longevity, like diet and sleep and exercise, are totally free.
Hmm.
And so even though there's this like kind of halo effect around only the rich and, you know, sort of well-to-do people are the ones worried about longevity, and there's like a lot of stigma around that, like the funny irony is the things you can do that are most effective, as we hear on stage, are the ones that cost $0. Yeah.
That's amazing, man. All right, and
So,
where can we find you specifically? And
I post, you know, on LinkedIn a bunch, and then I also hope to write more around my personal interest in biology, longevity, and social change, right? And so these are exciting topics, and, you know, hope to talk to you guys more.
All right. Thank you for joining us, Max Song.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you, Aaron.
It was another episode of the Better by the Numbers podcast presented by Life Metrics, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thank you.
Sweet, man.